Now, some of you have probably heard rumors that there's a little bit of a Nazi purge going on right now on YouTube. Chief among those knocked from the platform, the man, the myth, the legend, Stefan Molyneux, shown here on BitChute. Now, I want to talk about this. Oh man, do I want to talk about this, but I have to lead. I have to open it up. I am a very pro free speech person. I love free speech. One might even say I love free speech. But to anyone who is even remotely educated on the nuances of freedom of speech and what it means to engage in free expression, you probably are aware of the paradox of tolerance. Essentially, the argument made is that in order to defend freedom of speech, you do have to silence people who are intolerant of others' freedom of speech. Because those who are intolerant of freedom of speech may exploit freedom of speech to get power before yoinking the rug out from everyone else. Now, this isn't some abstract theory. We see this happen in real life. Fascist regimes will usually adulate themselves off of a love of free speech and engagement and, I may not agree with what you're saying, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it, and so on. And then they actually get power, and we see what happens. Trump has been a very anti-free speech president. There are known and famed alt-right figures who have openly proclaimed they don't give a fuck about free speech. I know Nick Fuentes certainly claims he doesn't. Richard Spencer literally said in a live stream, like, yeah, we don't care about free speech. We're just using it. Great. Cool. Fantastic. So, with all that being said, I'm totally fine with some of these motherfuckers getting yeeted off YouTube. We've had Stefan Molyneux get yeeted. The alternative hypothesis had to delete all of his videos, though the channel still exists, so that's cool. Richard Spencer got yeeted. Jared Taylor got yeeted. Atheism is Unstoppable got stopped, so there's that. And, of course, we have Stefan Molyneux. The whole... James Alsop got banned a while ago. Now, the whole discourse around deplatforming is actually very, it's very pertinent right now, because I know Peter Coffin has been saying that, like, deplatforming is bad or it doesn't work or whatever on Twitter, and this is in response to Peter Coffin not going to the Better Discourse conference, the MythCon thing, but Destiny is actually going, and once more we are talking about freedom of speech, deplatforming, whether or not it's effective, whether or not it's okay, so on and so forth. So I'm going to answer all those questions right now, and then we're going to laugh at the Eggman. Are you ready for it? Yeah, deplatforming works. Holy shit. Getting kicked off Twitter and YouTube and what have you fucking obliterates your ability to spread your opinions, obviously. Holy shit, that is so fucking obvious. Okay, Jesus Christ. Second of all, is it good? Yeah. If you're using your freedom of speech to silence others, if you're using it to bully or harass others, to promote political agendas which encourage hate against other groups, which diminish and demean them, which silence them, which encourage the chilling of their freedom of speech by passively enabling a mob of hundreds of thousands or millions of people who would see this country turn into an ethno-state, yes, it's good. It's great, as a matter of fact. Follow-up question. Is it great that gigantic monolithic corporations get to decide the rules for discourse for all of human engagement right now on social media? Because without social media, we have essentially no power to express our opinions. The answer to this is no. That is a very bad thing. But as long as we're living in a hell world where corporations control all discourse, let us revel in the fact that it is in the interest of corporations to deplatform far-right people because they make those platforms inhospitable to a larger audience. For once, the relentless profit-seeking of corporations is something that is advantageous to us because no matter how much they may cry and scream and flail, there are more brown people, more trans people, more gay people, more foreign people, and what have you than there are alt-righters. And for that reason, silencing the latter in favor of the former is, at times, a pretty excellent business strategy. We now turn to the Eggman, the walrus, Cuckoo Cachoo. Banned from YouTube. No surrender. I regret nothing.
Something like this happens, you'd be kind of crazy not to sit there and say, should I have done something different? Should I have avoided this topic? Should I have pursued that topic harder? Should I, whatever.
Is it safe to cover him? Yes, YouTube doesn't work like Twitch with regards to the banning of channels.
And I sort of thought about that this afternoon for a while, chatted about it with some friends. And frankly, I regret nothing. I regret nothing. When you are in possession of knowledge that can...
You know, as a fairly reasonable person, I've always been of the opinion that it's a pretty fucking shitty thing to like hyperbolize or exaggerate like claims of sexual assault. But I do feel like him looking at me and talking at me with his lips like that is kind of like a Me Too moment. He is so fucking creepy. It is insane how off-putting he is. He is like a former cult leader. When he started his free domain radio bullshit, he would have like his biggest patrons, he would like meet with them in person and stuff, and he would do like a little culty thing. And then when they stopped supporting him, he would dox them. He would actually have like, he'd be like, my children have betrayed me. And then he would post their full info, including their address, phone number, place of employment, on his website for betraying the cult. I'm serious. That's a true thing. Yeah. And then he like wrote out a post about how he was the victim because they stopped supporting him financially. That's true. None of that is fake. That's just true. That happened.
Can help save the world. You are then given a very profound responsibility. And that profound responsibility is that if you withhold that information, you are a causal factor in the destruction of your society. Now, we may curse that information. We may wish that we had never received it. We may wish that we could get that little Men in Black pen to erase it from us, but we can't.
I love the way this is being framed. This is the way that all of these people frame themselves whenever they're deplatformed, okay? Now, Molyneux is especially creepy, but I do like the approach here, okay? We possess information they don't want you to hear. We are warriors of truth in a world of disinformation, and we have been silenced because we were not willing to go with the grain. We were not willing to bow down and bend the knee to the establishment. It's inherently like a very conspiratorial way of framing your deplatforming, because not only are you specifically naming your detractors, I have not seen this video. I guarantee you that at no point he will name any of the specific policies on YouTube that got him deplatformed. He will not name any of the people who drafted those policies, and he will not name any specific changes to those policies that could be made. He'll instead refer vaguely to some nebulous agenda to deplatform truth tellers like him. But he's never going to bring up the YouTube TOS. He'll never do it.
So when you are in possession of information that is essential to help people to understand the world and to stop hating each other, you understand? So the IQ information, racial disparities in IQ and all of that, that's really, really important information because it lowers the tensions between the races. It helps us stop hating each other.
You notice this language from Stryker when I debated the Nazi butt buddies as well? Well, actually, being neo-Nazis is anti-racist because it gives explanations and assurances to the real racism is keeping the races together because it leads to conflict, you know, by 1350ing your way across the internet. You're actually fighting racism because you're explaining things. It makes people more comfortable with their station in life. That's what he's saying, by the way. The reason that racial conflict exists is because the blacks are uppity. They have forgotten their station. They have forgotten 1350, and so have the progressive white liberals who enable the black menace to spread across the Western world, or the Jews, I guess, because he goes for that as well. And that if we just all knew our place, that we would be more satisfied with our walk in life. A lot of conservative rhetoric comes down to that, actually. Why are women unhappy? They've forgotten their station in life. Why are men unhappy? They've forgotten their station in life, you know? You can do the same with the races. It's, you know, whatever works for them.
It helps fight anti-Semitism. It helps fight anti-black. It helps fight anti-white. It helps fight anti-East Asian. You know, if If you thought that the only reason the NBA didn't have more East Asians is because they just hated East Asians, you'd be creating all of these tensions and hatreds and hostilities and fights. And so if you're in
Yeah,
possession,
see, exactly. By believing and saying racism exists, you are actually the one creating racism because you're pushing tension in a place where tension doesn't exist. Again, these people are fucking insane. But what I do think is funny is that these people, they're so cucked. They have to appeal to liberalism in order to push their message. Right now, he's trying to push ethnostates, the Jewish question, 1350, and everything through a lens of, well, it'll help make us all more equal and happy. Stefan Molyneux doesn't give a fuck about people being equal and happy. He wants the boot of the white man down upon the rest of the world until the end of time. That's what they all want. But they have to phrase it, and it's like, well, actually, it's better for all of us. Actually, it's, you're the real racist for trying to keep the races together. This Stryker did the exact same thing. Every face you freeze on is nightmare-inducing. Here, I'll help.
of knowledge that cools
Here.
the flaming hearts of anger between human beings, between human groups, and you don't
I'm helping.
share that information, then it's not a burden that I could live with. It's not a burden that my conscience would let me accept.
Listen to this fucking martyr, dude. My heart could not bear the burden of knowing 1350, but not saying 1350 on YouTube. Holy shit.
Do it. I couldn't do it too. It's sort of like if you know how to do the Heimlich maneuver and someone you care about is choking on a piece of fish, do you just sit there and say, well, I really want to finish my cheesecake, so I'm just going to let that person choke out, right? No, you know the Heimlich maneuver. And so you go over. I actually did a show with the daughter of the guy who came up with the Heimlich maneuver.
What a hero. What a Jesus Christ. What a Christ-like man. He didn't ask to learn about 1350 and the Jewish question, but once he was burdened with that information, he had no choice but to dedicate the rest of his life to spreading the word.
But if you have that knowledge, you have to use it. I mean, you kind of have to, right? I mean, and I have to look at this camera, right? I have to look at this camera. I have to look at you guys. I have to look at you guys. And
Please stop.
what I have to do is I have to say, truth is a value. I value the truth. And I'm going to be honest. Being in possession of the kind of knowledge that I have. And look, I validated the knowledge, the IQ stuff. I mean, I talked to 17 world experts, dug through the data. Like, I made sure it was okay, right?
I feel like any commentary I make on this is almost going to be self-evident because any, mentally healthy person should be able to look at this and see what's wrong. But, man, oh man, Stefan Molyneux. I mean, I've looked at his videos where he talks about race realism. They are fucking insane. To his credit, at least people like Stryker, that idiot, are upfront enough with their positions that they're actually blunt with their thought process. Stefan Molyneux is literally a cult leader. It's his job to obfuscate messages with a bunch of woo speak to try and lull the listener into a sense of complacency and vulnerability. But people like Stryker are very, very upfront about it. Here's the totality of Stefan Molyneux's understanding of the very complicated subject of race and IQ. We looked at the crime statistics and we saw some data from the 1960s. And when I said I talked to 17 experts, what I actually meant was I talked to 17 authors and bloggers who have written on the works of 2 or 3 authors who have been widely discredited in the academic space. And we had them on and we talked for 2 hours about how actually it's better for the blacks if they stay in Africa. And once I was cursed with this knowledge, but he'll dress it up however he likes. This guy takes forever to say anything. If you've seen my debate with him, I think that's pretty self-evident. But you want to know the funniest part of this video? It's not actually in the video, the funniest part of this video. It's actually outside of the video. The funniest part of this video is its view count. Stefan Molyneux had nearly 1 million YouTube subscribers. He was a largely influential figure. And he gets banned with virtually no warning. Massive happening. Now, this is somebody who talks all the time about the culture war, about censorship, about political correctness, about freedom, about truth. So you'd think this would be a rallying cry, a triumphant horn blown to signal to his audience that the time has come to follow him wherever he may go. 42,000 views. From the most influential philosopher in Western history, circa him. And this was posted 4 days ago. How many of these views do you think were from people like me, who just wanted to laugh at him? I'm not entirely sure. Probably not an insubstantial amount. That's really good for BitChute? Yeah, it is, LibRaven. That is 100% true. That is very good for BitChute. Deplatforming works, folks. It really, really does. Don't let them get to you, okay? When people tell you, actually, when you're deplatforming the right, you're giving them what they want, they're lying to you. You really think they would do that, neo-Nazis? Lie about the most effective way of opposing them? Do you really think they'd do that? You should check the comments, see if it matches up. Well, all the comments will be pro-Stefan Molyneux. Do you really think somebody coming here to laugh at Stefan Molyneux would make a fucking account on BitChute just to make fun of him? This website is a dumpster fire. YouTube is becoming like MySpace. Everyone is coming to BitChute. Ah, yes, like that great exodus to Telegram from Twitter. The New World Order began when Trump took office to overthrow him. There's probably a lot of crazy shit here in the comments. We should probably look, shouldn't we? I unsubbed from a couple musicians I'd like after they came out for Black Lives Matter. I don't think I'm going to miss YouTube very much. All right, well. Are there, like, can you post, like, naked images in BitChute? Because you can apparently just post images. I'm, like, a little worried, but I guess I'll roll the dice. Ah, here's the Jews being the Antichrist. See? It's a little South Park screen cap. Beware of Antichrists. And look, they even put Antichrists in the parentheses, so you really know. It wasn't enough to just post, like, the Jewish caricature with the page on the Antichrist. They had to throw that in as well. Load more comments. Yeah, go for it. Sadly, not enough people are moving to BitChute. You know what the funny thing is? If BitChute actually gets really, really big, they're going to start banning people like Stefan Molyneux as well. Oh, here leftists being scared to watch BitChute. Parler. Will they? Oh, yeah, 100%. Why would they not? Yeah, here's Parler. Oh, here's some sort of genderqueer child, and there are Jews looking at them. I'm not sure what that implies necessarily. There's some sort of edited Renaissance painting. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even know. Russian trolls are the ones doxing white Americans to get them fired. Beware of these rats. Russians are white equals follow the money or continue to function as a useful idiots for one's capital G globalist masters. What a wacky bunch. Man, now they're arguing about Epstein. I'm scrolling quickly now because I have no idea if I'm going to come across like some edited photo of like a bunch of black people with Hillary Clinton's face like stapled onto them, like raping a white child or something. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. These people are real wacky. What was the excuse given for banning Stefan? I've never heard him say anything remotely outside standard TOS anywhere. As I understand it, he dared explore the possibility of racial disparities in things like IQ by talking to the relevant scientists. What scientists did he talk to? YouTube is anti-science. It only has dogma to offer from the Church of Woke. Wacky, wacky folks. Have been slowly using BitChute more often nowadays. Stefan Hammer 666 is doing well here and now on the road to 100k subs. It's not Stefan Hammer 666. It's Styx Hexenhammer 666. Did they change their name here? I'm the only one who actually says their name correctly. Styx Hexenhammer 666. Unless this lunatic changed. No, it's Styx Hexenhammer on BitChute. Stefan Hammer. Jesus. Get your own shit right. Jesus Christ. This is like a death knell. Styx Hexenhammer, 86,000 subs, but these videos have views in the low thousands. That's crazy. Hey, listen, folks. We're staying on YouTube, okay? We're staying right here on YouTube. That's what we're doing. I like being here, okay? Listen, things are a lot easier here. Now I do Molyneux's video on Twitter has over 1 million views. Yeah, because Molyneux is not banned on Twitter. But that video on Twitter isn't the full video. It's like 2 minutes. But the full 13-minute video, the full thing, on BitChute, doesn't have much attention at all. Anyway, as much as I would love to regale you with like all the hilarious bullshit these people are saying in the comments of these videos, I don't think I need to. Every single one of these websites fails. Every single one of them. Guys, do you remember, fuck me, what was the name of that Reddit replacement? Come on, what was it? Come on. You know what I'm talking about. Vote. Yeah, Vote. Gab. Telegram. Parler. BitChute. Yeah, like, there's just a Dig. Yeah, Dig. DLive. Right now, the only person who actually brings viewership to DLive, I'm pretty sure, is Nick Fuentes. But if you're not looking at like the Nazi stuff, the highest view counts that you see concurrently on DLive are like at low hundreds. People just playing Call of Duty or whatever. The oh my fucking god. These, for better or for worse, and very often it's for worse. Right now, the main social media sites are pretty much the platforms for political discourse online. And that's what we have. That's all we have at the moment. And as somebody who is interested in winning the culture war, to use a very cringy phrase, I think it's very important that we stay on this platform. This is one of the reasons why I've been very critical of lefties who have tried to build like off-platform sites. You know what I mean? There have been some lefties who are like, we need to ditch YouTube. This place is a Nazi hellhole. We need to go form our own. Nah, no. We need to win here, is what we need to do. Anyway, yeah, so to Stefan Molyneux, Jared Taylor, Atheism is Unstoppable, God, Nick Fuentes, Allsup, and every other degenerate piece of shit who got kicked off the website because they were too fucking stupid to follow a TOS so permissive that it allowed Steven Crowder to stay after he organized a homophobic bullying campaign for hundreds of thousands of people to target a smaller content creator. Have fun, okay? Enjoy whatever platforms you can get elsewhere. I'm sorry you weren't intelligent enough to manage the incredibly lax TOS restrictions you were provided, okay?